Hello, and welcome once again to another episode of VHS Roulette. It's a little dark in here, isn't it? Voila! Alright, so I just got some tapes. I'm going to show you a couple of the tapes I got, and then I will review them. So first we have Lorenzo Lamas in Girl, We Got Bad Blood. No, this is, I started watching this thinking maybe this is the one I would review. Oh, it's fucking bad. I might still review it just because it is bad. It's one of those movies where like it was made in the 90s, but every punch and every kick is the same noise. It's the same whoosh, whoosh, and all that shit. Anyway, this is really terrible so far. I found Moonraker, which is I loved Roger Moore. I love Roger Moore, and I love his Bond films. I've heard this one is a little shitty, but we'll still watch that. This is one I'm really excited about. Pterodactyl Women from Beverly Hills, and it's got Beverly D'Angelo playing a woman who's apparently cursed to become a pterodactyl by maybe this guy? Brian Allen? I don't know. But Brian James, sorry, not Brian Allen. Yeah, just this cover makes me really want to see this film, but I'm not in the right mood, I guess, yet, so I haven't watched this one yet. But, yeah, this one's gonna be wild. And, not last or least, Extramarital. I just got, another PM Entertainment Tracy Lord's film called Ice, and that one was pretty bad, so I'm imagining this one is not going to be much better. But upside, it's got Jeff Fahey as well, so it's got two big time terrible B-movie actors. Actually, Jeff Fahey's pretty good. He was in Lawnmower Man and a bunch of other shit. Grindhouse, Planet Terror. But today we are going to be watching, and I was very excited to find this at the thrift store, Deadly Force. So, this film is clearly a Dirty Harry-ish ripoff. Hey, stop it! And, stop. And it stars the, I was going to say lovable, but I can't see anyone really loving Wings Hauser. He is Wings Hauser. His name is Wings, by the way, which was my favorite 90s sitcom. Maybe not favorite. It's one of my favorite. Anyway, so his name's Wings Hauser. If you've never seen him in a film, he does a lot of trashy B-movie garbage films. He made Mutant, which is another great crap film. He's been in a lot. I think I've reviewed one of his films way back, so just look through all my videos and I'm sure you'll find a couple Wings references. But in this film, he plays an ex-cop, of course. He's got an ex-wife, well, current wife, because she never died, signed the divorce papers. He's got a, let's just call her ex-wife. I think one of the cats just took a shit. Anyway, he has an ex-wife that hates him. He got thrown off the force for being too crazy, I guess. And so he moved away from New York City and started his own freelance, like, vigilante business, I guess, because people just kind of call him up and just ask him to do shit. Just insanely dangerous stuff, which he's okay with because he's Wings. In this film, his name is Stoney. So, Wings is playing Stoney. Anyway, So the film starts off with a woman being woken up by an alarm clock, and immediately after that, she goes out on her balcony, and a guy pushes her off, and she goes flying off the balcony, ah! And she's dead. Turns out this woman is the granddaughter of one of Stoney's oldest friends, Sam, and this kind of forces him to stop what he's doing, and which is basically he's doing nothing. Everyone's, like I said, he gets calls and then he goes and does crazy shit. What we first see Stoney doing is playing Street Wheel of Fortune, which I really hope that this is a thing, because in Street Wheel of Fortune, there's still a wheel of fortune. It just it's so you guess on a number on the wheel, and whichever hole on the wheel the rat in the middle goes into, if you pick that number, you win. It actually looks really fun to play, and I mean, in New York, I'm sure there's tons of rats everywhere. So while he's doing that, after he does that, he goes to a bar, gets drunk, and then he gets a call from somebody saying, this guy, this business owner, that he doesn't want to call the cops, and he's got one of his workers is strapped with dynamite, says he's going to blow up the place. I'm not going to go into it because it's a really dumb scene, and Stoney goes in there and basically, threatens the guy with the gun. Stoney is threatening everyone with a gun in this movie. He's a very pushy, assholic ex-cop, and we're supposed to be rooting for him. He's an asshole in every single aspect. So if you're thinking, like, after he's an asshole to bad guys, he's going to be nice to his ex-wife, or he's going to be nice to anyone, he's not. Anyway, so he diffuses that situation, gets the dynamite strapped guy out of this warehouse by convincing, basically by telling him he's going to give him $4,000, because the guy that called him up offered him $20,000 to get this psycho out of his warehouse. So he basically just walks out with the guy, gives him $4,000, and then gets into a cab to go to New York. I don't know where he was originally. I was very confused because I was like, it seems like he's already in New York, but then he's going to New York. I don't know where anything happens in this movie. I think maybe the deaths are happening in LA, maybe. I don't know. Just two major cities. He's in one major city, then he goes to another major city to figure out who killed this woman. We find out that a lot of people have been killed lately by this guy, or this killer known as the X-Killer. Anyway, before he flies over to New York or LA or wherever the fuck he goes, he gets in the cab, and guess who's driving? Estelle Getty from the Golden Girls, and she's she has a great little cameo and swears at people, and it's wonderful. Anyway, so he gets to other major city, and he meets up with Sam, and he tells Sam, I'm going to find this asshole or whatever. Immediately, the cop that fired him from the force pulls them over and has Stoney pulled out of the car and dragged over to him, and he gives him a lot of threatening stuff like, I told you to get out of this town and I never wanted to see you again. And Stoney, of course, is like, yeah, but I'm back, and he's a total asshole. And then this captain says something absolutely inexplicable, so I had to write it down. And so he says, you get involved in this, and I'll put you away so far that they'll have to airmail you the light. This is what he said, because I rewound it a couple times just to, make certain that's what he said. And that is what he said. There's another, I'll get to another ridiculous line in this movie too, but I'll put you away so far they'll have to airmail you in light. That couldn't have been easy to say because it makes no fucking sense. Anyway, so he's back in this city and he hooks up with his wife. He goes to his wife's house. She fucking hates him big time. Big time hates him. He and you can see why you don't sympathize with him at all. You're like, yeah, I get it. He's a piece of shit. I don't like him either. I'm totally on her side. And but I guess he's being charming or whatever. And oh, this is the other very inexplicable line in the movie. So he's trying to get on with her, and he's like, I'm trying to like find the murderer of blah blah blah, and she's like, well, I'm working on the case because I'm a news reporter, and I'm working on this X Killer Games, but I want you out of here, get out of here, and he's like, no, but don't you remember, and blah blah blah, and she says, hit the pike. Hit the pike. This I've never heard before, and that's another line. I had to rewind it. I'm like, did she say take a hike or go sit on a spike? No, no. She says hit the pike. I can only imagine that she's saying like get on the turnpike, like the highway maybe. Hit the pike. I've never heard anyone say that in my life, but now I'm going to start saying it because of this fucking movie. Anyway, so I wrote some notes because there's a lot that happened in this movie. So obviously his ex-wife's working on the case. He has to not only convince his former boss to let him work on the case for a while, and he doesn't really convince him. He's just like, I'm gonna do it. He has to go to this mobster bad guy's house and basically tell him, because this mobster wants him dead, he has to tell him or make a deal with him to be like, okay, let me work on this case in your city for a few days, and I'll give you half of the reward money, because apparently there's reward money for serial killers. If you catch reward, this is all black market stuff that we aren't supposed to know about, but this is a reality. Whenever there's a killer on the loose, whenever there's a serial killer out there, there's always a reward on their head. The cops just offer that to people. And we just don't hear about it because we're not in the, we're not in the elite. Anyway, so he breaks into this mobster's kind of compound, and while he's doing it, I noticed this this is the most tense I got in the entire movie, and it was completely unintentional by the filmmakers, but he jumps over this fence. Well, he has to like get over this fence, and he does it in such a stupid way because there are these huge spikes poking up, and he like basically almost impales his own asshole on these spikes. He doesn't, but he gets very close to it because he jumps over this fence like an idiot. Anyway, so he goes into this bad guy's house, and it's very, bad guy looking. And the first person he sees is, I'm guessing, this bad guy, Ashley is the bad guy's name. Very tough name, by the way. And he sees this guy's mother. And the mother just starts babbling, and she's like, "Oh yeah, he's upstairs. Go on ahead. He's not alone though. Yeah, I think he's up there. You go and see him." And she's still talking while he walks away. And he gets up there to the bedroom, and what we see and what we hear is Ashley's in bed sleeping. Right next to him is a topless hooker, and she's watching porno while he's asleep. Hey. And so he gets in there, puts a gun to Ashley's face, and basically says, hey, let me work on this case, I'll give you the reward money, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. He's not very good at, talking with people. He doesn't have good people skills, But for some reason, he always gets what he wants out of people, even when he breaks into their house or smashes their head into something. But anyway, so he convinces the guy, as long as the guy gets the reward money, he can work on the case. So, uh, this is one more thing. Before he leaves, and walks out, he like grabs some of the popcorn that the topless girl's eating, and he starts watching the porno a little bit, and it's two women kissing, and he goes, "They're gay." Just like what the why? Well, that's his comment. They're gay, and the woman goes, "Hey, whatever turns you on, baby." And I'm like, "You're watching this. He's not." Whatever. Okay, so he goes on his tour of just basically this is what he does to find out information. He beats everyone up. Anyone he can find, he beats them up, and or he threatens them, or he has ice cream with them. It's like I beat up this guy, beat up this guy. He walks away from one guy who looks dead. He leaves a guy in a bathroom, and there's like a blood smear, and the guy is just like that. So I think he just fucking killed that guy. Whatever. And then so beats up guy, kills guy, has ice cream with guy, beats up another guy. Blah blah blah. He finds out information. He ends up getting to this hooker who is uh, basically offering very weird things on the street. She's like uh, a $20 hooker is what she's referred to as, but she only takes off her panties for $20. I don't know. Anyway, so they Wings or Stoney and Sam kind of interrogate her and make her bring them, or no, she's like, my baby's in the church, so we need to go in there. And so they go in the church with her, and then she tells them something. I don't really know. The plot's kind of hard to make sense of. Anyway, she tells them something, and while she's cradling her baby, which was in the church, they take off. The ex-killer shows up, dead. So and then we get plot B, which oh man, the twists in this movie are very telegraphed. Anyway, so there's this motivational speaker guy, and we see him basically talking to this large group of people and then asking people to stand up, berating them or making fun of their appearance, and then kind of twisting it around, being like, because you think you're a piece of shit, but really that's you that's saying that. So he convinces these people that they themselves are their own worst enemy, which, you know, he's, I guess he's good at what he does. Anyway, Stoney's wife is there, about to interview him. Stoney's wife is hot for this guy. Like, he is very smooth, very sleazy, cheesy, everything that 80s men wanted back then. So she's into it. And then when she is interviewing him, we just keep getting boom mic, just kind of like falling into the shot, and then it pops back up again, and then just put. So the boom mic shows up a lot in this. Basically, this is not going to blow anybody's mind who's watching the film, because immediately when they introduce this motivational speaker guy, you're like, oh, why is he in the movie? Oh yeah, he's secretly behind all this. Anyway, Wings ends up finding out where the ex-killer guy is, ends up chasing him down after having a shootout with him, chases him back to motivational speaker guy's house, and oh, I wonder why he went there. Probably because motivational speaker guy is paying him to like kill all these people to cover up some big like prison bullshit thing that they don't get enough into to make it worth mentioning on this thing. Basically, we find out motivational speaker guy used to be in prison, and he used to be, number one head honcho in prison, Stoney and Sam go and interview this guy who's in prison, and he says, "Yeah, man, he was a real tough dude. He controlled everything, and if a guy got out of line, he'd have somebody fist him, and if anybody crossed him, he'd have one of his guys fist you." And so that's some serious shit. Anyway, so things come to a head. There are shootouts. Of course, the movie ends with a giant shootout, like all great movies do, and it ends up with the bad guy dying in a huge, huge ball of flame, like like you do. So overall, it moves at like a breakneck speed. There's no way you're gonna get bored with this movie. It it starts and Wings is beating people up and saying scummy things and ugh, ugh. Those are some here are some things that are gonna bother you in this movie. You will enjoy yourself, but Wings is a big old asshole, and you can tell in real life he's probably an asshole too. In this movie, he's a sleazebag, big dickhead. He like comes on to his wife way too strong. He's just everyone he talks to, he either punches them or is a dick, and so you're not gonna like how Wings is. Maybe you'll like him. I don't know. The plot wraps itself up real quick at the end, so that's a little rough, and you might be mad at that, but it does wrap up. Everything kind of wraps up. The cop that fired Stoney Wings is pretty annoying because he keeps showing up, even though Wings keeps solving everything and keeps bringing the cop like, oh, here's the guy that fucking killed the people. The cop is still an asshole because Wings is doing his job and he's still an asshole this whole time. So that's going to be annoying. But overall, it's very fun and it moves super fast and you're not going to be bored. It's not something. It's I wouldn't rank it above the Dirty Harry films or the Lethal Weapon films, but it's in that vein. So if you like those movies and you want to see some ridiculous lines like hit the pike. Oh, and then there's something. At one point, Stoney is like mortally injured. He's shot, like, but he's still walking around. He gets shot and then thrown off a balcony, like 10 feet, and then past fisting prison guy is getting away, and Stoney's like trying to get up. His wife is like, "Don't! What are you doing? Oh my god!" And he goes, "Just help me." And then there's an 80-yard line, so he goes, "Just help me," and then, "Or leave me alone." And it's just like, so their relationship is very strained. At one point, oh, you get to see a lot of Wings Hauser's ass in this movie, and trust me, it is not an ass you want to see at all. It is, oh, you see it in a sex scene with him and his wife on a hammock, which hammocks do not work for sex. I'm sorry, it just does not. That's not a place you want to have sex. Anyway, you see his ass there. He gets shot at when he's taking a bath, and you see his ass there. You're just seeing Wings' ass a lot. So if you're not ready for that, maybe stay away. But anyway, so this movie hasn't been available for a very long time. It's just been available on VHS. I don't think it ever even went to DVD. But actually, this coming month, in January, it's going to be released on Blu-ray for, I don't know why, but they're releasing it on Blu-ray, so there's your chance. You can seek it out, find it, and watch it. There are clips on YouTube. The whole film is not on YouTube, but the trailer is. I'll leave a link to that. It's interesting. It's fun. There's a lot of stupid lines in it. A lot of stupid things happen. Wings is stupid. Check it out. I give it a rating system. I just give it a check it out, but you won't fall in love with it. Thanks for watching VHS Roulette. Happy New Year if I don't see you guys. All right. Have a good one.